Romanians and the European Union are processing the results of Sunday's presidential runoff. The pro-EU mayor of Bucharest, Nicusor Dan, defeated George Simion, a far-right nationalist rival who modelled his campaign on that of Donald Trump. Dan has vowed to rebuild Romania, which is one of the European Union's poorest countries. He also promised to maintain support for neighbouring Ukraine. Now, Alina Mungiu-Pippidi is Professor of Political Science at the Guido Cali University in Rome. She joins us from Bucharest. Welcome to DW. Tell us more about Nicusor Dan. What's he known for?
Well, Nicusor Dan is a nerd. He's a former Olympics in mathematics and a passionate civic activist who fought for Bucharest, basically against violent development projects, which were tearing apart the old structure of the city, the texture, rooting out poor people, as well as the historical heritage of the city. And this is how he made his reputation. He's a maniac amateur lawyer who went on behalf of poor people many times in court, suing the government. And all this helped him get elected as mayor of Bucharest. As mayor of Bucharest, he didn't have a party of his own, so he really struggled without having a majority in the local council. But he managed to balance the budget, and he was in Bucharest the first completely honest mayor for some generations.
Ooh,
all this positioned him into being a good candidate.
Okay, that's quite an accolade, Bucharest's first honest mayor. Looking at as the country, as Romania faces the outside world, how is Mr. Dan's election likely to affect foreign policy?
Well, Mr. Dan came on a wave of, of continuity, to be very honest, because Romania wanted to remain in the European Union and in NATO, and out of the sudden, this very strange coalition formed of an anti-nature coalition formed of nostalgics of fascists, nostalgics of communism, and a core group of anti-vaccinists got together under a strange label of sovereignists, but they were not really sovereignists because they were all running to DC to take a selfie with Mr. Trump. And we needed someone to put up front. And he was the only plausible candidate, since political parties are very discredited here after many years of corruption and anti-corruption also, which did their fair share of simply ruining traditional political parties. And people wanted an independent. So basically, that is how he won. And what will change in Romania's position in the West? Nothing will change. But that is actually good news, because the alternative would have been an ally to Mr. Fico in Slovakia and to Viktor Orban. That was the counter-candidate's offer.
Now, the election had to be rerun because of Russian interference. Was there evidence of that again in this election?
Well, the Russian interference is very old with us, and it's not only in elections, it's also between elections. Russia, for instance, we have evidence that they supported a lot the anti-vaccine movement. It seems irrational, but evidence exists in plenty. It was published by the BBC. They supported this a lot. They also supported a lot the lawsuits by East European parents against Scandinavian child care agencies, which they built into some sort of civilizational clash between the West, which tries to steal the children from the East. They also support constantly campaigns against Brussels, which may seem ridiculous to us, but which really gather a very large following. Like Brussels is forcing people to eat insects. In the future, we're going to have to put insects into everything that we eat. They fight a lot against the Green Deal. They translate the Green Deal into being really damaging to people. And we're talking people who are in pre-modern Europe, in rural areas, deserted by a lot of people who went to the active workforce, which went to West. So these are really like the remainers, people left behind, who are very influenced. So it's not an elections day influence. It's more like a continuous influence, which was really very damaging.
Thanks for talking us through that, Professor Alina Mungiu-Pippidi from Guido Cali University in Rome. Thank you so much.